What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so former NBA player turned basketball analyst Kenny Smith has weighed in on his thoughts about the videotape that surfaced this past Wednesday showing Draymond Green violently striking his teammate Jordan Poole. And in his opinion, it's much ado about nothing, all right? He was asked by TMZ Sports out in LAX about it shortly after the tape broke, as far as being released. And he says that, while the tape was, quote, uncomfortable to watch, it's not nearly as serious as some think it is. He said, quote, that behavior is uncommon in normal society without question. However, that behavior happens a lot in sports because of the physicality, the adrenaline, and all those things. I thought it was going to be worse before I saw the video. I was like, oh, they just got into a scuffle. Kenny Smith insists that fights like these happen all the time in the Basketball Association, including back in his playing days. He says, I won 2 championships with like 5 guys who fought. And look, this is my thing, man. I understand where Kenny Smith is coming from. I really do. I understand where he's coming from. We get on these guys for saying, look, man, the league used to be tougher and, guys used to get in the fights and all of that shit. It's true. But usually, the guys who got into fights weren't going around bullying people who didn't want it. You understand what I'm saying? Usually, the enforcer or the enforcers are often there to curtail bullying. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing that NBA players or anybody don't like is somebody who picks on the weak but don't have the same smoke for someone as big or bigger than them, or someone who poses a bigger threat. And that's always been the case. Look, Wilt Chamberlain is probably the strongest basketball player we've ever seen. But Wilt was not a bully. There were other players out there who were physically trying to hurt Wilt Chamberlain. Clyde Lovelett hurt Wilt Chamberlain badly one time, knocked his teeth back. It was such a terrible injury that injury had a direct long-term causation with his death. But what I'm getting at is, man, there are certain players historically that have been very unpopular because of the dirty tactics, because of the bullying. Whether you're talking about Clyde Lovelett, especially Bill Laimbeer, there's always been these guys in the NBA who have a reputation for being bullies, for being dirty players, and the league frowns upon that shit. So yeah, players get into fights and scuffles all the time, and it's forgotten about a couple days later. Yeah, flare-ups happen all the time. But the reason behind what Draymond did to Jordan Poole, that's not normal. And that shit shouldn't be tolerated. And the fact that everybody within the organization seems to be taken up for Draymond Green, and when I see this new report saying that, wow, Draymond is actually saying that the tape was altered to make him look bad, and you're not even facing any type of suspension, really. You're going to be back for the first game of the season. Man, if I'm Jordan Poole, I'm having some serious thoughts about whether I want to stay with this organization. I'm having some serious thoughts. Serious thoughts. Because this fucking Draymond Green is going to cost the Warriors an extension of this fucking dynasty. And I'm sorry. I still have to question Steph Curry's leadership. I'm sorry, I do. And this is one of the reasons why I have problems putting him in that trajectory as far as top 10. Because I don't see Michael Jordan or Larry Bird or Magic Johnson or Bill Russell. I don't see them. Hell, Will Chamberlain. I don't see them not G-checking this motherfucker. One of the things that people I know historically have always knocked Tim Duncan on is how great a player he was, right? But they'll say a couple things about Tim Duncan. That he had some Hall of Fame talent around him, and that he wasn't like the greatest leader. I've heard people say this about him, that he's not the greatest leader. He wasn't the greatest leader. And I'm sorry, but like I said, I don't want to lay all this on Steph Curry, man, but he's supposed to be the best player on this team. He's supposed to be on Mount Rushmore. He's supposed to be the leader. I know Draymond's supposed to be the, quote, inspirational leader, but shit, that don't mean shit. Derek Fisher was the inspirational leader of the Lakers, but Kobe was the leader. And if Derek Fisher did some bullshit, I know that he would take D. Fisher's side and be like, hey, man, this is, what the fuck you doing, man? Shit, for all I know, man, Curry sometimes like he's scared of this motherfucker. Fuck this dude, man. So, I don't know. That's all I got to say about it, man. I understand where Kenny Smith is coming from. Yes, that type of stuff is commonplace in the NBA, especially back then. But bullying a motherfucker, that's not normal. And the enforcers, like I said before, the enforcers were there to correct shit like that. If Charles Oakley or Charles Barkley or Xavier McDaniel, Maurice Lucas, if they saw a player being bullied by somebody, just consistently bullied for some petty shit, they stepped to this motherfucker. If you think that Ben Wallace would not step to Draymond Green if he saw some shit going on, this young dude not bothering nobody, and you just fucking with him because you think he poses a threat to your fucking payday, so you mixing business with the sport out on the court? Okay. But it is what it is, man.